recently launched a campaign to end vertical transmission of HIV. Vertical transmission of HIV is known across the world more commonly as mother-to-child transmission. HIV can be transmitted from a mother to her child either during delivering the baby or during breastfeeding. The world has the science and the resources to eliminate vertical transmission of HIV. In the rich countries of the world, we hardly see any incidents of vertical transmission, but across the rest of the world, across Africa, Asia, Latin America, we see a huge number of HIV positive infants being born every single day. And worse still, that the women who even enter, who get access to these prevention of vertical transmission services, are not provided treatment for their own health.
It requires a comprehensive approach and not just leave it at PMTCT, but we should be looking at it as PMTCT plus.
It's not only about during the moment of the delivering, but also after that. So I think it's very important to make sure that this be comprehensive and that it will be based on a human rights approach in all services. It is about involving family and also about really creating an environment where women will be safe. National AIDS policies are not addressing women's problems or demands because mainly women are not allowed to participate in taking decisions in relation to HIV policies. As well, we found that women living with HIV in many countries are having denied their sexual reproductive health and rights because they are HIV, and also suffering more violence because also they are HIV positive.
HIV positive women in many countries, when they go to deliver their baby, nurses and doctors refuse to treat them when they know that they're HIV positive. They're discriminated against. Many are forcibly sterilized and discouraged from having babies.
And a woman goes to a clinic and says, I need access to reproductive health services. And they go back a second time and they're pregnant. And the doctor turns around and says, well, how dare you even be having sex? You're living with HIV. That level of stigma and discrimination is repeated across the world.
We're campaigning to make sure that the program to prevent vertical transmission isn't just about giving a single pill or a range of pills when the woman is delivering, but to make sure that the woman's health is a centerpiece of the entire program.
My name is Joyce Kamwana. I'm from Malawi, which was one of the countries in sub-Saharan Africa most hardly hit by HIV, AIDS, TB and malaria. One of the MDGs is the elimination of mother-to-child transmission. And in my country, the mother-to-child transmission accounts for 30% of the new infections. And if this is not supported or no funding is provided towards that, then definitely by 2015 we wouldn't be able to achieve that MDG. And also, if the funding was to be provided, by 2015 we would be in a position to totally eliminate the transmission of mother to child, of HIV from mother to child.
My name is Alessandra Nilo. I'm based in Brazil, and my organization is Gestus, and I'm also a member of ITPC. First of all, I think that I will make sure that those programs will be more comprehensive and that all strategies in place will be really concerned in terms of addressing women, not only concerns in terms of the baby health. The second thing is about I would improve awareness and will improve the men's participation in this process, because First of all, it's not about mother to child transmission. So I will start changing this name, mother to child, this term, and we will prefer using parental transmission of HIV, or another reference that is not again burdening women as responsible for transmitting HIV and AIDS for the children.
I'm Aditi Sharma from the International Treatment Preparedness Coalition, and I'm from India. If I was in charge of programs to prevent vertical transmission, the first thing I would do as the United Nations would be to make sure that governments begin to report on progress by looking at all the aspects of this program, not just on the pills, that are given during delivery or just before, just after, but to make sure that we're measuring how many women we're reaching, how many young women are we reaching with HIV prevention messages and tools, how each country is doing on both the legislative and the services to make sure that a woman's right to reproductive choices are upheld. How many women in these countries are getting not just a single dose nevirapine, which is a drug that causes side effects and that is not as effective as full combination therapy for prevention of vertical transmission, and how many women are getting the correct and most up-to-date information about breastfeeding and infant feeding choices. And finally, how many women, how many children, and how many families who enter this program are being followed up with treatment, with access to treatment, and make sure that they're getting both treatment and other support, psychosocial support, nutritional support, and to ensure that they do not walk away from this program with no follow-up whatsoever.
My name's Kieran Daly. I'm the Executive Director of ICASO, which is the International Council of AIDS Service Organizations. If I was Ban Ki-moon, the head of the UN, I'd do three things right now. I would call every single leader every week for weeks to come until they firmly commit to funding and fully funding the Global Fund. Because it's through the Global Fund and other funding mechanisms like that that we're really going to be able to scale up prevention of vertical transmission. Secondly, as the head of the UN, he has now the mandate to use his offices at the country level to make sure that we do scale up PMTCT, we do scale up the services for women, for children, and so that they can have access to treatment. Hold those governments to account who here at the UN have committed to changing laws, have committed to funding the scale up of prevention of vertical transmission. And the third way, if I was Ban Ki-moon, I would make sure that this new UN agency for women is given the resources, given the personnel, not just UN staffers who are there for their career, but women out there who've been leading this cause, leading the cause for gender equality and access to treatment for women, for children, and for their families. He needs to make sure this new organization actually has an impact and has teeth to do what they need to do.